All right. Good morning. It's morning. Good afternoon. It's noon. Welcome to our Great Start Community Connections. I'm Jean Faivor. I'm the parent liaison, family liaison with the Great Start Collaborative and Family Coalition. If you've been here a while and have checked in on those, we just recently changed our name into Family Coalition as opposed to Parent Coalition to be a bit more inclusive and welcoming to all families. So that's a new shift for us. So I'm now Family Liaison, and welcome. I'm here this morning with Kate Essenberg. You might recognize her from a past Great Start Community Connections. She, for how many years, was the Women's Resource Center Playgroup facilitator?
Just shy of 15.
I was going to say 15. That seemed right to me, which is remarkable. And so we were just talking about this right before we hopped on, but she was my kid's playgroup facilitator. And so she was exceptional. And she did a community connections with us maybe last year talking about playgroups with that program. But since then has recently moved into the role of CLEO coordinator through Communities in Schools, Northwest Michigan. And the CLEO stands for Central Lake Early Opportunities. It's a Central Lake program, and people have lots of questions about it all the time. We all do as well. So I'm really excited to hear from Kate this morning and have you all out there, anybody popping in live, be able to ask her questions as well in the chats and the comments. So welcome, and welcome, Kate. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Jean.
So a brief intro and bio from me, but if you kind of want to talk about um, who you are, love to meet you.
All right, well, thank you. As Jean said, I recently became the CLEO coordinator in Central Lake, and that stands for Central Lake Early Opportunities. Prior to that, I was a playgroup facilitator with the Women's Resource Center, and as part of my job, also as part of that job, since 2016, I wear another hat as playgroup facilitator in Central Lake, but also family support partner with CLEO through the Women's Resource Center. So this position that I have now as the coordinator is very new to me. I started in May, which still feels like a couple of weeks ago, unless I look outside. Um, but I've been working in and around the CLEO programming for the last few years. So that part has been a really fun transition because I already have wonderful relationships with colleagues in Central Lake, which I really appreciate, and people that work in Central Lake, like Jean Faivor.
Excellent, and I'm so glad too to keep working with you, Kate. So, Central Lake Early Opportunities, the Clio, we've heard it, we've seen it. There's a beautiful web page. We talk about it. So, there's a little bit of confusion, I think, around who Clio is for, what Clio stands for, um, why Central Lake has a Clio. So maybe go through a little bit of those today to kind of clarify, and then how do I benefit from it as a family? I think specifically Central Lake families. So maybe the first thing is who is Clio for? What how do I know if Clio is something that I want to look into?
Yeah, those are great questions, Jean, and I would say that I have those questions too, and I'm still answering some of them for myself. But let me start by saying, to answer your first question, no, I'm going to mix it up. Let me go back to CLEO. Our colleague so well articulated that there are three CLEOs. So first there is CLEO the person. There was a woman named CLEO Purdy, and she was a resident of Central Lake. She grew up here. And she, like, how much does everybody want to know about CLEO? She's a really neat lady, and I would love to share more. And there is a really beautiful children's book that was written about her that I'd love to share with folks if they're ever interested. So follow up with me on that if you have interest. But CLEO Purdy grew up in Central Lake, went to school at Central Lake. Time went on, she ended up going into the Army, and after she served, she ended up moving to Santa Barbara, California, which is where she lived as an adult. And she was an educator. She held a prestigious certificate, a lifelong teaching certificate in California, and clearly had a strong passion for children and early childhood. She also was a savvy businesswoman and got involved in some real estate development. As a result of that, she made, towards the end of her life, a planned gift to the Grand Traverse Regional Community Foundation that, when she passed away in 2013, became the CLEO M. Purdy Endowment. So that is so we have CLEO,
Second
the
CLEO.
person, and then the CLEO M. Purdy Endowment, which is a fund that is held again by the Grand Traverse Regional Community Foundation, that lays out a number of wishes from CLEO that are all around supporting early childhood, specifically in Central Lake. So that's our second CLEO, is the endowment. And then our third CLEO, which we both have referenced, is Central Lake Early Opportunities. And that is a group of community partners that collaborate to provide early childhood programming in Central Lake. So there are a number of organizations that are involved with that, including Great Start, including Communities in Schools, who supports my position, Central Lake Public Schools, the Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency, the Women's Resource Center, and Central Lake Schools is huge. They provide a lot of different programming. And, it's always real dangerous to make a list verbally when I can't write it down and check my math. I feel like I'm missing someone. But there are other partners as well. Pretty much anybody that is providing early childhood or family services in Central Lake is in essence part of CLEO.
The Central Lake Early Opportunities, third branch of the CLEO. So some people, I think it still takes a second to wrap your head around, oh, CLEO is this person's actual name, and she actually did leave an endowment for early childhood in Central Lake, and so the acronym just beautifully matches up to stand for Central Lake Early Opportunities, which is her name. So I think it's beautiful and also confusing.
Well said. Well said. And so there are programs that are really intended for Central Lake families. The wish behind the endowment is to honor and elevate Central Lake families. There are agencies that we partner with that provide services to anybody. So I guess I would encourage families to reach out. There are some things that we offer that anybody can partake of, and there are some things that we offer that are really just geared for families that are in Central Lake. That might vary as the program evolves.
That makes sense. So, depending on who's involved in the funding stream and the missions of each organization, how that's going to work. So check it out. Exactly. If you're in Central Lake, though, if you have a child that lives in Central Lake part-time, full-time, if you have a child that goes to Central Lake Public Schools, if you live within Central Lake School District, I would assume, are those all safe criteria to be okay, I'm definitely part of CLEO and this is something I should look into?
Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
Awesome.
And we would love to have you.
Yes, I know. Yes, everybody that's listening, sign up. So Central Lake families, Central Lake Early Opportunities. So why would I want to be a part of CLEO? Why would I want to reach out to you to find out more?
Well, that is a great question too, and that brings me back to many moons ago when I was the mom of young children, and we do focus our programs are for children 0 to 8. Okay. At this particular juncture, the majority of the programming offered is really for 0 to 5, but then depending on what it is, we do an annual picnic, and that is definitely targeting those older kiddos. This is an area where we are definitely evolving rather. So I just want to mention that. But then why reach out? So I remember being a young mom and, I'm just going to be honest, you guys, I was pretty clueless. And I moved when my first baby was 6 weeks old. I had grown up in this area, so I had inherent relationships here and family here, but I had never been a young parent here.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't have even answered, like, why would I want to do that, or get involved? Or is it for
Is it
me?
for me?
Yeah. So yes is the answer. It is for everyone, and there are a lot of different opportunities that are offered that may be appealing to people. Some programs may be really appealing, and some other folks are like, oh, that's not really a fit for me, but maybe this part is. So
So
we
there might be,
align.
so I don't have to like sign up to be a CLEO parent. I don't have to sign up or go to things, or there's no kind of criteria besides being a Central Lake family. Do I have to worry about, my commitment, or, I mean, is it for me if, if I'm low income, or if I'm not, or if I have three kids or one kid, or if I'm a stepmom? Like, are there criteria that I have to know, and are there commitments that I have to make to access CLEO's programming? Which we'll talk about the programming in a minute.
That's a great question. I'm like, what would they be? I can't think of enrollment requirements right
Okay.
now. Each agency does have their own means of doing a program. So, like, for example, my colleague Danielle does a play group on Fridays, and that is at the First Congregational Church in Central Lake. And you can just go to that. You don't have to sign up in advance or RSVP. There isn't a certain requirement. It
Okay.
is for children ages 0 to 5. Um, so if you are a caregiver of a child aged 0 to 5, you're invited to attend, and you can show up. Now, Danielle, to help facilitate some other invitations to other programs,
Mm-hmm.
will invite you to fill out paperwork, but it's not a requirement. Um,
Okay.
answer your question, Jean?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think
Okay.
it sounds like, I mean, CLEO being a collaboration between agencies, some different programs might be coming from have different needs and different requirements, or different missions, or different, you know, populations that they're trying to reach. So just to reach out and find out more might be kind of what the best bet is. And so how would I find out what's going on and what might be good for me? Is there a place to go, a person to call, a website? Is there a forum? What's the best way to check out CLEO programs and offerings?
Well, that is a great question, too. Jean's full of great questions, you
I
guys.
always lots of questions.
And yes, so folks are welcome to reach out to me, and we can put my contact information in this. Also Danielle, whom I have mentioned just now, who facilitates playgroups. She is a family support partner, and she can help folks figure out like what programs are available to them and where they might fit, or if there's another partner that they should talk to. So that would be either Danielle or myself. We do have a CLEO website,
Okay.
and y'all, I got some rosy cheeks, blushing cheeks here, because I need to update it. But that also offers contact information for Danielle and I. It gives a flavor for families, even though it needs some updates right now. It gives a flavor of the kind of programs that are available. On that website, there are also other community partners listed that provide programming. So we wanted it to be a pretty comprehensive view of what's available.
Okay.
So we can also add that. And those are the places I would recommend for folks to start.
Just check out. Okay, we
Mm-hmm.
probably should have done this first. Like, what what is there? What do you guys do? We're like, it's the teaser. We wait till the end to give you the good stuff. So, what kind of stuff? We heard about play groups, which are super fun. And again, I went to those with my kids, and it's just a fun place to be, and a really great community to do that with. So, other than play groups, and you talked about the schools doing programming, and what other things are offered through the CLEO consortium or collaborative, the group of CLEO partners?
Yeah. So I would like to just give an extra little plug for play groups. because I'm so familiar with them. And as you had mentioned, like, why would people want to get involved? One thing that playgroup is one of our regular in-person activities that allows a chance for parents to meet other parents. And so you get to make those connections over, like, how are things going with your children? Okay, you guys, I'm inclined to say sometimes parents, when I was doing playgroups, might say, my kid's doing this weird thing, is that normal? And like everybody else could say, generally, yeah, my kid does that too, or my kid used to do that. And so that connection as parents, because those little guys don't necessarily come with their own user manual, and there's a lot to learn about kids. So it's really helpful to get together with other parents and be able to have a place to talk about things or to have adult conversation. It's also a great spot for kids to learn a lot of skills around playing and watching other kids and interacting with other people. So again, playgroup is one of our regular in-person activities. We also offer...
Before you go, so do I have to be a Central Lake family to go to playgroup if I'm coming from East Jordan or Petoskey and I'm desperate to connect with somebody? Is that okay?
You know what? That is a great question, Jean. And playgroup has gone over a shift right now. As we've mentioned, that is a role that I used to have, and currently that role is vacant. So we have Danielle, who has graciously stepped into that spot and is holding it over. And I maybe could have checked in advance. We do have some families outside of Central Lake that I do believe are attending now, and absolutely they're welcome. So I think that is the case, but that is something that I would have to defer to one of our partners, NMCAA, to verify what their policies are around that. But I think so, if you're wondering.
All right. Yeah, we can look into that and pop that information too. And we also have on the Great Start Collaborative website, we have playgroups listed and who that's available to. So check that out as well if you're out there listening and want more information about playgroups in your community. So, okay. So playgroups, and then you're going to move into the next thing.
And then I was going to move right into monthly family activity bags, or we call them our FAB bags, which if you're a word person, I know it's redundant, but doesn't it roll off the tongue better than... Anyway. And those are bags that come with an idea for an activity along with all the materials to do it and instructions or ideas on how to implement it depending on the age of the child, as well as a new book and I believe a snack, which is always a hit for those children that are old enough to snack. So those happen once a month, and we have a porch pickup for those. We also... for our Central Lake families, do a diaper program, which we give away as some diapers on a monthly basis. I had a little hiccup right in here, and folks can contact me about that to see how we do have some requirements around that. So just please feel free to check in with me on that. We also participate in the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So for folks that have a 49622 zip code that are in Central Lake, then that is covered.
Awesome. So
and that can
reach out, and then you can help people sign up for that.
Yep, they can sign up on their own on the Dolly Parton Imagination website, or reach out to me, and we'll work on that together. Or if you have any questions, like around, like I'm in, we've got some funny lines, but generally...
The 49622.
Look for that zip code, 49622. As well as home visits. The colleague that I've mentioned, Danielle, provides home visits for Central Lake families. And those are just a really cool opportunity to get some one-on-one time with somebody that you can just talk to about your week. I do believe they work on like some family goals together. So for example, I wish I would have known about or had access to a program like this. First would be not knowing. Second would be I might have given this tooth to have somebody come in and help me figure out sleep regulation and schedules when my little ones were little. That was a tough one for me. So when I say family goals, that's the kind of thing that I mean. Like, hey, we really want to work on get a little more regular sleep around this place. Not that that's a guarantee, but there are some strategies to implement. So the home
Mm-hmm.
visiting,
You get support, parenting support ideas.
yeah,
Yeah, and I mean I know Danielle as well. So every time Kate mentions Danielle, she's a wonderful person to have as a home visitor. And if you're in Central Lake, definitely check her out. I think you said just not knowing it exists, but then knowing it exists, and then just being like, it's intimidating to invite somebody into your home, especially a professional, especially as you said, when you're a clueless parent. And like, we all are, right? Like, is there anybody that thinks I know exactly what I'm doing all the time? So just, having that, it's okay. That's what we're here for. We're here to come in and help you, and help you feel less clueless about what you're doing and supported. So yeah, the home visiting is such an amazing resource, and Danielle's
it
incredible.
is. It is. And so those are kind of our earlier childhood community based options. Along with it, anybody who's involved in any of those programs or none of those programs that wants to join, we do a text club
Mm-hmm.
where we push out information about opportunities in the community. Or notify, like, hey, playgroup's coming up, you're
Mm-hmm.
welcome to join us, or Great Start has this event, or what have you. So
Perfect.
that's another option, again, for families. It doesn't always work for families, certainly scheduling, but also there are a variety of reasons why maybe in-person programming isn't a good fit right now, but so that is not a requirement. We offer some other things. And then there are quite a number of programs at the school. There is, and these are, so first there's an infant care and toddler care at the school, which is a daycare program. And those do have a fee. That's a partnership. So Ann Thornton is the director of early childhood at Central Lake Public Schools. So she would be the person to check in on that.
Okay.
There's also a 3-4-year-old preschool classroom and a 4-5-year-old preschool classroom at the school. So
It's
there's a
wonderful.
lot going on at the school.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch the early childhood department grow over there, with Anne at the lead there. So yeah, check in with Anne with that. It's part of CLEO, but it's also part of the public school system, and
Mm-hmm.
Anne is overseeing that. So, whew,
And then we have Great Start and all the work that you are doing, Jean.
yeah, love.
We're really grateful. I have to give a shout out while we're on the Great Start Collaborative and Family Coalition page to just give a shout out to them for all. They've been an amazing partner over the years, and we all love Jean.
Mm, thank you, Kate. It's a commercial for me. Thank you. It's a pleasure to work with you. So, okay, we got a whole lot of things. Central Lake Families 49622 for Dolly Parton Imagination Library, play groups, diaper bags or diaper days, family activity bags, preschools and child cares, home visiting. So Cleo's got a lot going on, and there's probably more changes coming up, as you said, as the new coordinator, moving through things. So keep updated on the website as that gets updated, and reach out through there. Contact information is on there as well, I would imagine.
It is, yep.
So use that.
And a Facebook page. You can always send a message there as well.
So you're the coordinator. You're kind of head of in charge, but you're okay to call. You're not like, you're still
Absolutely,
cool. Like,
absolutely.
okay. So you can
That's
direct
part
me.
of my role.
Okay, to be the phone person.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, did we forget anything? And the CLEO picnic, you mentioned that too for Central Lake families in August, which is an amazing opportunity to network and connect and see families and just have fun and learn about other resources. So definitely check that out when it's getting summertime. It's going to be a minute, but
Which, yeah, it'll feel like forever and quick at the same time. And we also do, I guess, in the same vein, annually we do a community baby shower
mm-hmm.
for Central Lake families. So it's a baby shower. It's like a typical baby shower we want it to be that you'd have with your friends, with food and games and visiting and gifts and
Awesome.
celebrating those babies.
Yay. So we'll check that out too as it happens. Awesome, Kate. Thank you so much for sharing. It's a lot of information, and looking forward to watching CLEO, um, Central Lake Early Opportunities CLEO, grow and develop here, and hopefully bring some more families over to you guys.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you for the opportunity, Jean.
All right. Anybody have any questions? I had a lot of people on commenting. Kate, I don't think you can see the comments, but things such as "Hi, Kate the Great" and "Kate's the best" and "Good morning, beautiful souls," blah blah blah. All those wonderful things for you. So thank you to everybody who popped in and watched today and commented and reach out to Kate if you have any more questions.
Please do. Thank you.
All right. See you guys later.